Now, it's pretty easy to see, especially if you're new to my channel, that I'm a little bit of a masochist, just a tiny bit. Swapping between Dead by Daylight and Escape from Tarkov, there's got to be something wrong with me here. Anyway, when I was taking a break from Survive by Daylight, I decided, what would make for some good, interesting content? Something different. And I somehow, some way, landed on the idea of playing PvP Tarkov seriously for the first time in over 1,000 hours. And I gotta say, this went much better than I thought it would. This is my PvP Tarkov experience. Now, before we get into the video, of course I wasn't just playing PvP to run around and get a few player kills here and there. No, I had three goals in mind. I wanted to at least be able and get one real life player kill. That's it. I wanted at least one so I could prove to myself that I wasn't just some PvE chud who didn't have any skill. Two, I wanted to unlock at least one trader and complete some quests. I didn't want to be playing PvP all day long because, well, it's PvP, obviously. But I did want to actually do something and not just run around and, build hideout stuff and not actually progress. I wanted to make some decent progression. Third and finally, I wanted to survive at least one raid. If PvE taught me anything, especially when I was still pretty new to the game, this game is extremely unforgiving, and when we add in the unknown potential of actual real life players, the odds of me surviving are pretty slim, if we're being real here. But with that being said, let's hop right into the first raid. My first objective for my first raid was to simply survive. That's it. Go on interchange with the bare minimum, see if I could get out alive and progress the story, maybe unlock another location to further my progress, but I should have expected at least some resistance, and I ultimately got punished for it. That was on me. It was whatever. Um, Second raid was pretty much nothing to talk about. Just ran in with an MPX, extracted. That's really it. The fun starts at the third raid. Now, come around the third raid, I started to notice a little bit of a problem, especially rewatching this footage. I was playing extremely greedy here. I didn't want to use any decent pen ammo. I didn't want to use any decent weaponry, any decent actual gear I had, because I was under the impression that I could do this with the absolute bare minimum. Think min-maxing, and it ultimately didn't pay off. You see, my sole objective this raid was to use the car extract. It's for one of the trader quests, I believe. Hagman? I want to say? Could be wrong. That doesn't sound right. Might be him. I don't remember. But anyway, this raid was extremely chaotic, and needless to say, I actually learned quite a lot here. That is not normal. I'm still not so quite sure as to what Timmy activity was going on here with the smoke grenades, but needless to say, shortly after this happened, my confidence peaked, and it may or may not have gotten a little too much to me. Nice try. Nice try. I saw ya. I saw ya, you twerp. Let's go, our first player kill. Let's go. Level 16. Nice try. And just like that, with my first ever player kill underneath my belt, I felt unstoppable. In fact, I had no idea what this Timmy was doing, but looking back now and seeing those VOG 25s in his pocket, I'm pretty sure he was either doing Stirrup or Grenadier, or even both. Regardless, GG's, man. That was super awesome. But it ain't over until it's over. And unfortunately, that confidence got a little too much to my head. Scared the hell out of me. I thought I was getting shot at. Oh my goodness. Pay. Lay down. Okay. Alright. Someone's right here. And just like that, as quick as I was to be prideful of myself, I was brutally and honestly humbled. My humble little FMJ couldn't penetrate the trunk of that car, and because of that, I died. But, although I was a little spicy about that death, I did ultimately learn from my mistake, and what I learned is that I was being way too greedy with my gear. In fact, it was after this raid I decided to put on a face shield, because, well, I don't have access to a Death Shadow, and run an M4 with M855. And boy, did it pay off. Like you're playing DayZ though. Like in DayZ, you can't just run and gun. If I'm the first one in here, I might do a little trolling. I mentioned DayZ a few moments ago because I learned rather quickly that the adrenaline highs in this game are very, very similar to DayZ. DayZ, for those of you who don't know, it's a video game that's been out for quite a long time actually. It's a multiplayer online zombie survival PvP VE game built off of the Arma engine, which at this point is kind of prehistoric, but because I've played so much DayZ, I realized I should be applying my DayZ skill set to Tarkov. And boy, did it work well. Someone's coming. I got him! Ooh! I got him. I actually got him. I got him. Oh my... That dude looked thick. And with that, we got our very next player kill. But in typical DayZ fashion, couldn't celebrate just 2 yet. This could be bad. He has a friend. Come on. Yeah! And just like that, baby, with adrenaline at an all-time high, the spoils were mine. I looted their butts, got an HK from it, realized that PMC, the first one I killed, was just an M855A1, an endgame ammunition. Boy, oh boy, my hopes were up. Pride was high. I was so proud of myself for those 2 kills. I went straight to the car extract, and we made it back alive. Oh yeah, what ammo was he using in this? Don't tell me. Yo! Yo! Dude, he had endgame ammo, and he didn't kill me. That's gotta sting, man. Okay, reload. FMJ, not horrible. Alright, pay for it. Sit here again. Alright. We wait until it gets lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! And just like that, we got another quest done, another raid survived, and a buttload of loot to throw in the stash, baby. Man, oh man, I was so hyped after that raid, words cannot begin to describe it. My hands were shaking even hours after the stream ended in which I got this footage in which all of this happened. Insane, dude. and I decided, you know what, our spirits are high. We'll do one last ground zero raid to finish off the therapist quest I had to extract Emercom. And it was at this point I realized my strategy of playing slow, methodical, especially as a solo, playing into quest areas as PvP areas and maneuvering around these quest areas. I'm honestly surprised as to how quick I was to adapt to this new change. There's a PMC below me, he's injured. Please come up here. I want free loot. Please. Got him. Let's go. And just like that, my fourth and final player kill of the day had been secured. It's honestly crazy to think that out of the 5 raids I did, I believe it was 5. Yeah. Out of the 5 I did, I only died in 2, which puts me at around a, what, 60% survival rate? Something like that. 60 some percent, right? And man, I gotta say, the PvP mode is nice, but when it comes to the pros and cons versus PvP and PvE, although it is really fun to play PvP, I can't see myself playing this game mode. I have put so much time into Tarkov in general, the vast majority into PvE, and it's just way too time consuming. It is, in the best way possible. Keep that in mind. Like, if I even assuming I won the majority of my raids here, right? Let's say I decided to play PvP Tarkov for another 200 hours. Let's say I kept that same survival rate of around 60%, 60 to 50%, right? I would be so far behind in terms of the story, in the trader quests, in basically every aspect. And it's because of that reason that although I'm not going to stop playing PvP, I'm going to treat it more like a side game mode as opposed to being my primary game mode, right? Like, the PvP mode in this game I love. I've proven to myself that I can truly have an enjoyable time. I can actually have fun. I can stand a chance against, well, at least fellow Timmies, right? Like, let's be honest here. We're all Timmies on ground zero, for crying out loud. But it is good, right? Like, this right here is what so many Tarkov players love. It's what I love. Struggling to get a foothold against players who are either of the same level of you as you in terms of gear and experience, or slightly better, right? That guy with the HK with the M855A1, great example. He could have killed me so easy, but because I had better map knowledge than him, because I knew where the quests were, because I knew the overwhelming odds were they would be coming to me and not me them, I managed to drop him, and that felt amazing. You will never get this feeling in PvE. You just won't. The AI are not programmed to mimic quest behavior, and even if they did, you know they're bots, right? Like, they're programmed to do this. So, in terms of fun, I will say I have fun in PvE, but it's not to the same extent in PvP, right? In PvP, I get such an adrenaline high, and even when I lose, it's almost always something that I did wrong, right? Like, we just saw as I went from a stupid Timmy to an actual player who's using their head, right? In real time. And I wanted to make this video to kind of show that map knowledge truly is the biggest weapon you have in this game. And quest knowledge as well, but primarily map knowledge, right? And that last PMC kill there, the fact he even managed to shoot me with an ST M9, I forget what it's called. The fact he even managed to shoot me there before I could kill him that just goes to show, he was a pretty good player. Like don't he was using a semi-automatic weapon, 9 millimeter, and managed to shoot me and deal a decent bit of damage to me while I was using a full auto M4. That's pretty impressive, man. And in the end, this PvP and PvE Tarkov are two entirely different games. Just genuinely different games. And to say that only one is the correct way to play just doesn't make any sense to me. If I ever want to re-experience the extreme adrenaline high of PvP, I'll play PvP. That being said, I'm not going to main play PvP because I just don't have the time to fail, right? Like, I have a whole life outside of PvP, and while I don't have a problem with failing, if I go on a really bad losing streak and I have to spend a bunch of time getting all this money and getting gear back, that's just time I don't have, right? At least in PvE, insurance is basically guaranteed, and if I do die, I don't have to worry about spending a bunch of time to get all of my gear back or make some money, right? Again, though, to reiterate, there is still adrenaline highs in PvE, but they don't even remotely compare to PvP. I get the same adrenaline high fighting real players that I got when I first fought the goons and killed them in PvE. And that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Is PvP just a different version of PvE and PvE just a different version of PvP? Because although they are the same game, they feel so fundamentally different in almost every single way. And yeah, that being said, I really, really enjoyed making this video. If you guys like the video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. I stream on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, playing DBD, sometimes Tarkov, sometimes other stuff. In the end, God bless you all. Thanks for watching. Peace.